Hello everyone, welcome to the end, get off my final standings.
I did not think that was going to, that word that started with an F was going to be final.
My final standings. Rich Hagon, Brian David Marshall, they gave us a set each because we couldn't play nice yesterday. Welcome to the end of day wrap on day 2 here of Pro Tour Theros. It has been, I think, quite an unusual Pro Tour. I think. Well, you tell me. You've seen so many of these.
Well, you know, the big story is clearly standard, right?
Yeah.
This is our first major of the year in this new standard format. You know, we've got a couple of big events, but this is the Pro Tour. Clearly, people had some decks that were being kept under wraps. Nykthos Shrine to Nyx was a big deal. And what was really interesting about it is, unlike something like Tolarian Academy or Gaia's Cradle or Cabal Coffers, cards that have all been compared to this card when we've talked to people this weekend, is those cards produce mana of a specific color. This card produces mana of any one color that you want based on your commitment to that color in your deck. So what that's let us do is have this really powerful card that people can theoretically take in 5 different directions. They can take it into every section of the color wheel.
Yeah.
And so we've seen green devotion, red devotion, blue devotion, and we even have a mono black devotion.
Now here's the thing. We could say that in round 5, we could find someone who was, you know, playing all green cards and go, hey, look, 22 forest, haha. And maybe at the early part of day 2, we could find someone who had jammed lots of swamps together and, oh, look, here's another different deck for you. But we're not doing that. We're saying, you know that green deck? Well, we'll see that tomorrow in the top 8. You know that red deck? We'll see that tomorrow in the top 8. And the blue deck. Oh, and the black
deck.
Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was a fantastic event, and even looking at the blue deck, we've seen very, very different approaches to that deck.
Yeah.
Throughout the weekend, 3 distinct different versions of the deck that I've seen, including one that doesn't even use Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. Just says, you know, we don't even need to do that. Our devotion is entirely to our god Thassa, and to you know, making waves.
Okay, well, we've talked about some of the decks that are making waves. What about the players making waves? Let's run you through the top 8. So who have we got number 1?
Jeremy Desani of France.
First Pro Tour top 8, a Grand Prix winner last year, amazing Grand Prix win percentage, and now first time at the Pro Tour top 8. Number 2?
Samuel Black from Team Star City Games, player playing that mono blue deck that we were talking about, and just a you know, fantastic player playing in his second top 8. You might notice an absence of a blue pin here.
Yeah, what's going on there?
You know, Sam's devotion to blue is so great that I gave him my pin. He's like, I have 2 top 8s, both times it's mono blue, so I pinned him.
Okay. Number 3 is France. It's a blue merchant extraordinaire. Never mind the grey merchant of Asphodel. This is the blue merchant. It's Guillaume Waffatapa, because he loves his blue. He loves his control decks all around. He played Esper Control, and here he is in his fifth. Mr. Historian, top 8.
5th top 8. That's a pretty lofty number. That's kind of like the 3,000 hits.
Sure.
In baseball, when you're talking about a career resume, this is certainly going to be a provocative topic of discussion come Hall of Fame time next year.
Magic's French Derek Jeter is sort of what you're saying.
Sure, or Ichiro Suzuki, or yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure which of those most fits him, really. Okay, number 4, let's go to Japan.
Number 4, Makihiro Mihara. By the way, talk about, you know, the number 5. Makihiro Mihara now gets to number 5. So I guess if he's Derek Jeter, Mihara could be Ichiro Suzuki.
There we are, lovely. Still not working that Derek Jeter thing.
Yeah.
All right, so Mihara, 5 top 8s for him. Just a complete monster. He was 7-1 overnight.
World champion. By the way, worth noting, Guillaume Waffatapa we mentioned, former Pro Tour champion. Makihiro Mihara we're mentioning,
world champion.
Paul Rietzel now we're talking about Pro Tour Amsterdam champion.
Yeah, yes, it's not just the top 8, it's going the distance. And Paul Rietzel was 8-0 overnight, one of the 2 co-leaders with Sam Black. Usually, someone on the top of the pile doesn't make it through. Today, both 8-0s went the distance. Well done to them. Who's number 6?
Pierre Dejean.
Right, so our third French competitor
Yeah, you had,
in the top
those
8.
three guys at the desk.
That's right.
Modestly, they were all worried about their English. They sounded terrific to me.
Yeah.
Very, very eloquent, very passionate, very emotional.
Yep.
Talking about the experience, I thought those were great interviews.
Yeah, they're lovely guys, all of them. I think Desani has a great chance tomorrow. Just as a player, he's just tremendous. So Dajon in 6th. We go back to Japan for number 7.
Yeah, and this is Kentaro Yamamoto, Magic Online PTQ winner, and perhaps the most intriguing deck in the top 8.
Yes.
You know, remember like the PTQs and Grand Prix a while ago, everyone was complaining about Pack Rat and Limited. Kind of like, oh,
like
I
in
lost the Pack
Sealed,
Rat. In
right?
Sealed.
And to an extent in Draft.
And it was kind of like, well, at least I don't have to play against stupid Pack Rat and Constructed.
Sure.
I don't, you might. He's playing Mono Black Devotion. He's playing with Pack Rats. Very interestingly, Pack Rats are the only real tokens that we're going to see that contribute to Devotion, because those tokens come into play as exact copies of Pack Rats. So they appear to Shrine of Nykthos to have a black mana symbol in them.
Oh, wow, okay, so that's the deal with that. It isn't just that he wants to make lots of Pack Rats.
By the way, he also has Grey Merchant of Asphodel. It's like the limited All-Stars constructed deck.
No Mogus's Marauders out the sideboard.
I don't know. We did see Mogus's Marauders on the floor, but
We did, absolutely. So that's number 7. And then sneaking in number 8 is a man who went to a pre-release, went, well, I'll just play a little bit of Mono Red Devotion. My friend Frank Carsten's playing this. I'll jam a few games with him.
Our 4th Pro Tour champion in the top 8. Camille Cornelissen, playing in his 6th, sorry. 6th.
5 on a hand.
Yeah, well,
Generally.
6 top 8. Unbelievable. Yeah, and like you said, playing with his play testing for this Pro Tour. I mean, it sounds like you're making fun of him, but I mean, it's really just a credit to his raw talent.
Yes.
That his play testing for this Pro Tour consisted entirely of going to the pre-release and playing some Limited, and jamming some games of Constructed with Frank Karsten. Frank's like, oh, I have a, where's that envelope? I'm gonna sketch out a deck on the back of it.
Yep.
You know, I think a Red Devotion deck might look like this. And Camille's like, oh, well, if I'm gonna go to the Pro Tour, I'll play a Frank Karsten list. This seems good.
And off we go.
And until round 4, had not played a match of it since that pre-release day, which is just staggering.
Yeah. He is mind-blowing. To be honest, this whole top 8 is pretty mind-blowing. This is one of the best top 8s I've seen in a long time. You have established superstars. You have people taking their game to the absolute peak with these 5th and 6th top 8s.
Comparable, I think, to the top 8 that we saw, Paul Rietzlin a couple years ago that he won in Amsterdam.
Where you've got the likes of Brad Nelson and Kyber and so on. Yeah, that was a monster top 8. This is tremendous. Of course, you can see all the standings on Daily MTG. Tomorrow, we'll bring you 4 staggeringly devoted quarterfinals, 2 semis, and of course, you'll see a champion
Bring
crowned.
a little bit of just bad news in terms of a little bit of bookkeeping.
Yes.
Chris Pikula did not finish in the top 25, so it doesn't parlay into an invitation. Tiebreakers didn't work out for him. He ended up in 33rd place.
Okay.
Jake Van Lunen, also hoping for top 25 tiebreakers, ends up in 29th.
Okay. Well,
sorry to end on a downer, but I feel like we want to tell people where those results played out.
Absolutely. As we said, results matter all the way through the 2 days. We thank you for being with us through 16 rounds. Now just 3 remain, 8 players with 17 previous Pro Tour top 8s between them. Some newcomers, some great nations. Can't wait. Make sure you're with us. For Brian David Marshall, the Pro Tour historian, I'm your host, Rich Hagon, saying bye.